All right, geometry, this video will go over notes for 11.2a. We're in a new chapter now. The first half of the chapter is surface area, and the second half is volume. So today we're going to talk about what lateral and surface area are. So the first thing is just getting some vocab out of the way. All right, so this over to the left is a prism, and that's going to be the type of shape you're going to see. They look a little different from time to time, but that'll be explained. So a prism, what a prism has is two parallel bases, and then the lateral faces are always rectangles. So you have two of one shape, and then the rest of the sides are going to be rectangles. So this particular one has bases that are triangles. So this would be called a triangular prism. Okay, it has two triangles as bases. Triangular prism would be the name of this one. Okay, the other three sides, so there's a top, there's a bottom, there's a front, a back, and like a back right and a back left. Those are all going to be rectangles. So the lateral faces, this word lateral, this just means the sides. Okay, kind of the front, back, those types of things. We're going to need some measurements for this. And one thing that I'm just going to add to this picture is that this is a 5. We'll go over it in another problem why that's a 5. So for now, I just want to give you that so that we have it. To get the lateral area, okay, what we need is we need something called P, or the perimeter. So this is the next one. Capital P is the perimeter of the base. H, so the perimeter is going to be adding up those three sides, 3, 4, and 5. So the perimeter of the base for this one is 3 plus 4 plus 5. So the perimeter is 12. That's going to be an important number in a second. Okay, the height, okay, is h, and that's what that really means is the distance between the bases. So height is not always up and down, not always vertical. For this triangular prism, it has a height of 6 because that's how far apart the triangles are. So we're going to need those two things. Those are both going to be important. And then we're going to need capital B. What capital B stands for is the area of a base. And that is something that the formula depends on what shape we have for the base. So since we have a triangular prism this time, we're going to use the triangle formula for capital B, which we'll come back to. So lateral area. Lateral area refers to all of the sides added together, not including the two bases. So not including the triangles. So this is just adding up all the rectangles is really what we're talking about. And there's a formula for this. We're going to get that down right now. Okay, the lateral area is just adding all the rectangles together. So this front rectangle here would have an area of 5 times 6, base times height, but all of the rectangles are going to have a height of 6. So we have like a 5 times 6 for the front, a 4 times 6 for the back right, a 3 times 6 for the back left. So what a little shortcut for this to get lateral area, the perimeter times the height. So if you know perimeter and you know height, perimeter times height will give you the lateral area. It's kind of adding up all the way around for you and multiplying by the height. This gives you the height of all the area, of all the rectangles. So this triangular prism has a lateral area of PH, which is 12 times 6, which is, 72 square centimeters. Okay, so that would be the lateral area. Okay, surface area then includes the bases. Okay, so that's going to be the only difference there. This one includes the two bases. Okay, including the two bases. This one we can have a formula for as well. So what we have, okay, is if you want to get every surface all added together, you need the lateral area, which is all the sides, front, back, left, right, plus the area of the bases. Well, there's two bases. There's two bases in a prism. So that means I have to get the area of a base and double it because there's going to be two of them, top and bottom. So make sure that you have these two formulas written down. These are the formulas of the day. So if it asks for lateral area, you don't need to worry about the bases. You just need the perimeter and the height. If it asks for surface area, we got to also factor in the bases. So capital B for this one is we're going to use 1/2 base times height since we have a triangle. So we're talking about this base and this height of the triangle. So this is 1/2 times 3 times 4, which is 6. So each triangle has an area of 6. So what we want to do then is double that. If we want to get the answer for surface area, okay, we need LA plus 2B. We already got LA is 72, and there's two triangles that each have an area of 6. So this has a total surface area of 84 square centimeters. We'll try some more examples, but that's really the gist of it. Okay, LA is adding up all the rectangles, not counting the bases, and then the surface area then includes the bases. So let's try another one. So for this one, okay, we're going to find the lateral area and the surface area. Okay, this time the bases are rectangles. So when it's a box, it doesn't matter if you use top and bottom or front and back or left and right as the bases, but find a shape that you have two of. This one's called a rectangular prism. All right, and to get the surface area, first we get the lateral area. The lateral area is the perimeter of the base times the height, which is the distance between the bases. So we need the perimeter of one of these bases. So if we have a 5 and a 4, we have another 5 back here and another 4 right here. So the perimeter of that would be 5 plus 4 plus 5 plus 4. So a total perimeter of 18. We need that number. And then since we're using top and bottom as our bases, then the distance between those bases is our height. So 5 is our height. So for lateral area, we have 18 as our perimeter. We have 5 as our height. So our lateral area is just 18 times 5, which is 90 square inches. So our lateral area is 90 square inches. If that's all they ask for on Schoology, then you're done. Otherwise, we have to go, if we want surface area, the next thing we would want is capital B. Okay, for this one, we're using a rectangular prism, or we have a rectangular prism, so we want to use the rectangle formula to get that area. So now it's a little confusing where we have more than one height, okay, but we're trying to get the area of the bottom here, which is this base and this height multiplied together. So that's just 5 times 4. So the bottom has an area of 20 square inches. That's not our answer, okay? But that's an important piece of our answer. So what we have so far, the 90 square inches is the front and the back and the left and the right all added together. So this 90 is front plus back plus left plus right. Okay, this right here is the area of the bottom. So what we need to do is double that because the top is going to also be 20. So we really have two 20s to consider when we look at this. So we can get a final answer at this point. The surface area formula is LA plus 2 times whatever the base is. So the lateral area is 90. That's the front plus the back plus the left plus the right, which is 90, plus 2 times the bottom is 20, so the top will be 20. If you do 2 times 20, that's 40. So there's an overall surface area of 130 square inches. Okay, so those would be the first two examples. All right, then moving on to the next page, there's some more shapes in there. So let's take a look. So if we look at this triangular prism, okay, this one's triangular because we have two triangles that are parallel. So this is a good example of a time when the base is not the bottom. This is still a triangular prism. So what we're looking for here, okay, if we want the lateral area, is we want the perimeter of the base times the height. So the perimeter of the base is something we can get. That's the perimeter of one of these green triangles. The perimeter of that is just 5 plus 5 plus 6. So the perimeter is 16. For height, what we use is the distance between the bases. So that's how far apart are the triangles, and that's a number that's given to us, okay, which is that 12. So the lateral area is just 16 times 12. So that's going to be everything but the triangles. It's going to be like the left and the right and the bottom all added together. That's 192 square centimeters. Perimeter times height. Okay. Then capital B is a little tricky this time. So we'll look at that. Capital B, it's a triangular prism. So we need the triangle formula. So we need 1/2 the base and the height of the triangle. So we need this base and height. So we have that we can use 6 as the base, but what we don't have is the height of the triangle. We need the height of the triangle. So we can figure that out with Pythagorean theorem. So what would happen here is when I draw that height in, I'm splitting the base into 2 3s, and I can use Pythagorean theorem right here. I know 2 out of those 3 sides. So a lot of times we're going to say this all chapter long, okay? If you're missing a height, we can try a Pythagorean to get it back. So if you're missing an h, that could be something helpful. So over here, we'll do that work. We would have 3 squared plus h squared equal to 5 squared. Okay, if we can get that height, that's what's missing. We can put that height into this parenthesis, and then we can keep going with the problem. This is actually a perfect Pythagorean triple, because if you subtract that 9 over, you get h squared equal to 16. So that h that's missing is 4. So I know that that piece is 4 now. So I'm going to use a base of 6 and a height of 4. So 1/2 times 6 times 4. Okay, that's half of 24. So each base is 12. Okay, so 192 is all the rectangles. I have to add the 2 triangles on to get my final answer for surface area. LA plus 2 times B. LA was 192, 2 times the base of 12. Base has an area of 12. So we have really 192 plus 24. So 216 square centimeters would be our surface area. Okay, I'm going to label that just so that you have it for your notes. Okay, this is 216 square centimeters surface area. Okay, let's move on to a new one. Okay, this one, okay, the bases are hexagons now. There's 2 of those, kind of front and back. Okay, so this is a hexagonal prism, which is going to change our capital B formula. We'll need the hexagon formula now. Okay, for lateral area, we're still doing perimeter times height. Okay, the perimeter of this one is just 6. That's like the side length is 6, and there's 6 sides that are exactly that same length. So for this one, the perimeter is 36. Then the height is however far apart the hexagons are. So it's going to be a sideways height this time, 36 times 12 for that lateral area. So on this one, we have 36 times 12, so 432 is the lateral area. That's all of the rectangles added all the way around. What we need to do is next is find the area of one base and then double it, because there's 2 bases that are exactly that same size, same area. Now we have to use 1/2 ASN to figure that out, okay, because that's going to be the formula for that shape. So all of that's given. So we have all of those things. 1/2, A is right here, 3 square root of 3. S was given. And then it's a hexagon, so we're going to use 6 for that. If you punch all that in, you get the area of one of the bases. That's about 93.53 square meters. Okay, that is the one that gets doubled when we try to get the surface area now. The surface area final answer, LA plus 2B. The lateral area is 432, plus there's two bases that are 93 each. So when we look at that for our final answer, we double that 93.53, and I'm just looking on my page here, 619.1 if we're rounding to the nearest tenth square meters. So that blue answer is without the hexagons added in, and then the red answer is the base is added in. Sorry, they're making an announcement right during my video. All right, so then two left. So this one is another triangular prism. Okay, so we're going to go back to the triangle formula, but lateral area is going to be a little tougher this time. We need the perimeter times the height. Well, the height is how far apart the triangles are. So 6 is the height. Okay, so we can do that. Okay, what's a little tougher this time is the perimeter. So the perimeter of this shape is 7 plus, we need this third side. We don't know how long that is. We need to know how long that is to get the perimeter. But this is a 45, 45, 90. If these two are equal, that means this is an isosceles triangle. So all we need to do to get that third side is multiply by square root of 2. So this side has a length of 7 square root of 2. So if you're missing something, missing a dimension, Pythagorean could help. Maybe from time to time, square root of 2 can help. So if you do 7 plus 7 plus 7 square root of 2, you add all that together, that comes out to 23.9. So that would be the perimeter of one of our bases. That's what's going to go right here. And then we have our lateral area. So this is with not including the triangles. If you add up the 3 rectangles around the triangles, you get 143.4 square feet. So that's our lateral area. Capital B is the easier part this time, the area of one of the triangles. Okay, we had what we needed for that. We can use the 2 7s. Okay, we wouldn't use the hypotenuse for area. So 1/2 times 7 times 7. So one base has an area of half of 49 or 24.5. We're going to double that because that's going to be the exact same area that we have on the bottom. So from there, we can get our answer. The surface area is 143.4 plus 2 times 24.5. And that gives you a total of 192.4. This one is in square feet. Okay, we have one left. So if you look at this, and after we've done this last example, you're going to have a lot of really good things you can look at if you're trying to do the assignment next. So this one, the bases are trapezoids. It's whatever you have 2 of. This would be called a trapezoidal prism, which is going to change the formula for capital B again. So let's go through the process again. The lateral area is the perimeter of the base times the distance between the bases. So the distance between the trapezoids is going to be this 6 right here. Okay, that's going to be our height. Okay, we just need the perimeter of one of the bases. And this is where maybe it's a little hard to read. This side length is 4, this side length is 7, this is another 4, and this side length is 3. So that's what we're adding up. Looks like we get 18 yards for perimeter. So we're doing 18 times 6 for the lateral area. So that's going to be all the rectangles kind of all the way around. And then again, as you kind of work your way all the way around, everything except for the trapezoids. 18 times 6 gives you 108. So if all they wanted was the lateral area, that would be the answer. Capital B, we have to change the formula again. It's a trapezoid, 1/2 the height times the bases added together. And we have all that stuff. This 3.5 is the height of the trapezoid. So this is 1/2 times 3.5. The bases of the trapezoid are 7 and 3. So this is 1/2 times 3.5 times 10. One of the trapezoids has an area of 17.5. So it's kind of like we colored in this part, okay? And we're just going to then double it. So the surface area is the lateral answer plus 2 of the bases. If it's 17.5 on the front, it's 17.5 on the back. So surface area is going to be 143 square yards. All right, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Okay, give it a shot on Schoology. LA plus 2B.